right, everyone, we're back. It's the Prepared Mind channel, and it is a Wacked Wednesday. Shit has hit the fan, and I think things have gotten so bad. Maybe we've all gotten so desensitized to what is actually being done in this world, to what is actually being proposed, to what is actually being introduced, to what is the reality of the destruction that's being brought on us. We're just going to pretend, I guess, we had our argument and we lost. I guess it's okay for the Muslims to come here, take over towns, take over cities, take over councils, take over police departments, violate the rules, the building codes, the tax codes, fuck everyone else, attack people, punch them. I guess it's okay to start marrying off little girls, and if they choose not to be married, maybe they'll just get raped by these people. I guess it's just fine for Islam to do what it wants. We had our chance to say something, so let's just give up. Well, what about the Israelis and their Talmud? Anyone who's not a Jew should be taken advantage of, according to the Talmud. Anyone who is, not one of them can be cheated, killed, taken advantage of, stolen, raped, whatever. And it's fine to have sex with children. We're just supposed to give up that argument. We're just supposed to let it be. Wow, we don't know who really believes that, even though they tell us. I guess it's fine. I guess it's just fine that we have rich, elite pedophiles in government, in intelligence agencies, in foreign governments, in our own government. And we'll just pretend because they're rich, because they're bankers, or they come from certain families, that it's just fine for them to exist. We're just going to give up because that's what they want, right? It's just a hoax. It's just a conspiracy theory, right? It's fine, even though when you actually look out there and you see it, it's fine for naked men, grown men. It's fine. Why is the camera all fuzzy? It's fine for grown men to go into a woman's locker room where there's women, where there's teen girls, where there's preteen girls, where there's young girls, and get undressed in front of them, wag your dick all over the place. It's fine. It's fine for teachers in class to talk about sex with students, even all the way down to kindergarten. It's fine to bring in sexually deranged, lunatic transgenders and drag queens into schools and just expose children to them. It's fine to have homosexual anal sex, how to be a fruitcake books with pictures and dialogue so children have access to that so they can read all about it, and let's normalize. It's fine. Well, I tell you what, let me ask you this. What do you think a 15-year-old girl has to say about Epstein, rich child rapists, and politicians, right? Have we asked the kids what they think? Does that matter? How do they feel looking around and seeing Democrats and Republicans going, nah, we don't want to know about the Epstein thing. We need to hide that so it can persist like a cancer, so it can spread. Now, we need to keep these foreigners as our best friends and greatest allies because they're so moral as they go through and just blow the fuck out of a country and murder Christians, whether it's in Lebanon or Nigeria or Gaza. Fuck it, let's just kill Christians and then let them into our country because we can trust them here, right? What do children think of this shit? Right? These politicians, whatever. Hey, 15's not all that bad. Really? Right? Sex with 15-year-old girls is acceptable if you're a rich banker, whatever. Why are we supposed to accept that it's okay for the rich to get away with it? Should children accept it and just go, yeah, that's how it is? I guess let's just indoctrinate them early, right? So, what brought this particular line of thinking up is today, a 15-year-old girl decided to speak up on social media about children being raped by elites, whether they're politicians, corporate bastards, bankers, doesn't matter. Foreigners, Middle Eastern religious types. She decided to speak up because she sees adults in this country not seeing pedophilia as a serious problem. That it's always over there or over there. It's just, it's over nowhere. Anyways, her video is going viral, and it should. And I'm going to tell you what she said. Are you ready? This is all SHTF, by the way, folks. It has hit the fan when American adults just don't give a shit. I already told you, half the fucking Democrats out there think murder is acceptable if you don't like someone's politics. We're on a fucking knife's edge with these immoral fucks. Now, this is what the little girl said. Kids in my grade are turning 15 right now. Some of us still have baby faces. Some of us still have braces. Some of us still call our parents when we're scared at night. Some of us still look like middle schoolers because we basically are. The girl continues. Under federal law, anyone under 18 is a child. No loopholes, no technicalities. Pretty smart kid, huh? Well, this is where it gets good. She continues. If a 14-year-old has to get online to explain this to a grown adult with a national platform, then something is seriously wrong. And she concludes, or I'm going to conclude with her statements of, and you're going to like this, kids my age, 14, 15 years old, kids my age shouldn't have to be the moral compass in rooms full of adults. That's why her video's gone viral, because she's pointing out that Congress doesn't give a shit, that the Senate blows it off, that the president calls it a hoax, that parents everywhere are like, yeah, do whatever you want to kids. Religions from other countries are infiltrating our countries, our social system, our entertainment system, our media system, and they're pushing their filth on everyone else, right? Should a 14-year-old, I'm going to ask this, should a 14-year-old even be part of this conversation, right? A conversation about their innocence and safety, their comfort and well-being, right? Many Democrats want the legal age for sex lowered or eliminated, right? A Supreme Court justice who's now dead, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, wanted 12-year-old girls to be able to have sex with adults. Don't tell me Democrats don't want that. Democrats want kids to be able to have sex changes as young as 2. Oh, yeah, many of these fucking Fruit Loops look at their child and go, oh, I can tell you want to be a girl, so we're going to cut your dick off even though you're only 2 or 1.5 or 1 or whatever. Democrats want children sexualized in school and have drag queens indoctrinate them and have homosexuals come in and talk to them about anal sex and have that pushed all over them, right? Many elites, Middle Eastern religions believe girls are sex toys for them to rape whenever they want. Or they want to marry them at age 9 because some guy said it's fine, or they want to have sex with them because, well, their book said it's fine. Age 3, age 4, age 5, oh, that's fine because my book says so. Right? I'm sure young girls in America, like this 14, 15-year-old girl, really don't like being thought of as some kind of sex toy or some sort of religious object, right? I don't think they feel safe knowing there are people out there thinking just those thoughts, that it's just fine to treat girls, children that way. I'm sure young girls are upset that President Trump called the world's largest child rape scandal, called it a hoax. There are hundreds and even thousands of people who have been victimized by these people, and it's a hoax. I'm sure that these young girls out there are upset that Congress just dismissed it until we, the people, through a very few elected representatives, forced them to address it, even though they wanted to go on vacation and ignore it and distract us. Right? What does this teach children? It teaches them that they're not safe from government, and government's not going to protect them, and government just wants just wants things to be fine the way they are, right? I want to state again this girl's line. Kids my age shouldn't have to be the moral compass in rooms full of adults. Right. Kids know better. These adults use their religion, these Middle Eastern religions, and I don't count Christianity amongst them. Right? These kids are noticing how these elite bastards, these rich banker corporate types, yeah, they know. They watch social media. They can read. They can think. They talk to people, and they're seeing themselves being argued about as if they're objects for sale and objects for consumption. It is fucking disgusting. And I'm glad this girl spoke up, and I'm glad she's had an impact. Because people need to treat this for what it is. It is a massive, massive, giant conspiracy. And it's being forced on everyone. They've been trying to normalize pedophilia by calling it minor attracted persons. They've been trying to normalize sex with children by introducing children to their own sex lives as teachers, and by using books to say, oh, see, adults made these books, it must be fine. Normalizing pedophilia, normalizing homosexuality, just normalizing it all. Right? And then we've got, it's a fight, it's a political fight over whether it's right or wrong, whether it needs to be exposed. These sick fucks in Washington, D.C. want to claim national security is at stake. If we release the names of these criminals, they're criminals. They're pedophiles. They're fucking rapists. A lot of them are probably murderers too, because we've heard that. Now, it's testimony from some people. And we say, well, show us the evidence. Oh, no, we can't do that. It's a national security item. So in order for you to feel safe in your positions of power, you have to make every child in the country, fucking around the world, feel unsafe about the adults around them because they don't know who is going to take advantage of them next, or kidnap them, or sell them, or rape them, or force them into a marriage. This is where we're at, folks. Are any of these things really in doubt? Is there really an argument here for anybody, but especially these rich fucks, to use their power and connections, their wealth, to take advantage of others? Or someone to use their religious beliefs? Well, my book says it's okay to have sex with a 3-year-old. Well, my book says it's okay to marry them at age 9. My book says it's okay to beat women and slap them around and force whatever, right? They're slaves. And this other book says, well, it doesn't matter. You should just kill them anyways because they're subhuman compared to you because God has chosen you as his special people. You see, it's that mentality. And now children are speaking up, and good. They're afraid. They shouldn't have to be, but I'm glad this girl expressed that. This entire thing is just off the fucking hook. And everyone just got grounded by this 14, 15-year-old girl who says, yeah, we have baby faces. We have braces. We get scared. We need our parents to protect us. We don't like what's going on. How many times have we seen and heard some kid, some little boy, some little girl, could be age 5, age 10, age 15, in school, standing up for their rights and saying, I don't like this. I don't like what's going on. I feel uncomfortable with all this shit. And then they get thrown out of class. They get made fun of. Most of the time, kids are passive. They'll just go along with the other kids. Well, all the other kids are doing it. So it's just fine, right? I mean, get this. Senator Ladybug Lindsey Graham, he is pledging to, quote, sue the hell out of Jack Smith. Jack Smith is the Democrat prosecutor who went after Trump and went after everybody he could in his Arctic frost surveillance operation, which violated people's rights. So Ladybug, Light in the Loafers Lindsay, he's going to sue the hell out of him. Well, why won't senators sue the hell out of government for violating our rights? Why won't senators sue the hell out of, right? You see, Lindsey Graham feels like a victim. Well, Ladybug is in his 60s, his 70s now. By the way, he likes young boys. I think they're legal age, but I think I've heard that somewhere. Allegedly likes young boys. He's going to sue the hell out of someone because he feels uncomfortable that he was listened to. How do you think these kids feel? They feel uncomfortable because they know there's adults out there that are sexually preying on them. Whether they're shouting Aloha Snack Bar or some other religious fucking phrase, or whether they're like the kidnapping van that opens up and says, "Hey kid, you want some candy? Just come in my van. I've got a puppy in here." They're all the same people. It's just one wears a tie, right? And one doesn't. One has, well, a fancy job in the government. And the other one is just some scumbag, right? And then you got the street creeps who are trying to kidnap them, follow them home, like the poor little Irish girl, or was she, no, Scottish girl, that had to pull out a knife and a fucking axe to defend herself from some version of Muhammad who was harassing the shit out of them, right? But I'm going to sue the hell out of you for violating my rights. What about the rights of children? They don't care, right? In fact, you know, the guy at the center of all this, he's dead now, allegedly, Epstein, right? He is a ringleader of this. Apparently, he was involved and allegedly in Bitcoin and funding it. Yeah, Jeffrey Epstein, Bitcoin. Jeffrey Epstein, surveillance. Jeffrey Epstein is a intelligence asset. What, CIA, Mossad, FBI, all of them, any of them? Who knows? Because they won't tell us. You know, national security. We have a convicted pedophile on our payroll. Right? This guy, right? He's out there. When he was alive, guess what he was doing? He was texting a congressional representative. And the House found out about it just yesterday. They took a vote to censure Stacey Plaskett because she was texting with Epstein during congressional hearings, and he was giving her questions. He was feeding her questions to talk to witnesses. In other words, Jeffrey Epstein was basically sitting there in the fucking congressional seat. Right? Stacey Plaskett was representing Epstein, not her constituents. Complete abuse of her official duties in office. And the House didn't vote to expel her. Censure. You're a bad person. Don't do that again. They couldn't even do that. That's how fucking weak they are. Epstein, a convicted child pedophile, arrested again for his rape island, right, system he had set up. Of course, where Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, a bunch of people went to, and government, business, all these fucking people. And kids and adults are seeing that this guy could reach into Congress and control a congressional representative from the Virgin Islands, U.S. Virgin Islands, and have her ask his questions. That's some amazing reach for a convicted pedophile, don't you think? That's some amazing fucking reach there. And the House of Representatives couldn't even censure her. Fucking disgusting. What a bunch of worthless pieces of shit. Look, they're one of the Democrats, right? A congressional Democrat, folks, who voted against the release of the Epstein files, says his decision was principled. What principles would that be? The principles that say it's okay to marry a girl at age 9? The principles that say it's okay to have sex with a child? Are those the principles that would cause him to vote no on releasing the Epstein files? Or is the other principle, let's see, we need to protect government national secrets. Basically, the only national security item here is how the government, the CIA, the FBI, Mossad, MI6, all work together to get powerful people under their control by having them have sex with minors, prostitutes, take drugs, whatever, so they can control them. That's the national security they're protecting. How the government uses pedophilia to control politicians, control bankers, control government officials, everything, right? It was a principled decision. What principles? That protecting pedophiles is more important than protecting the innocent from the wealthy and powerful? Is the principle that satanic rituals have more value than moral codes and our laws? This guy just votes no. Nah, we don't need to release those files. Fuck it. Uman is traveling. He's in the mobile command center again. He's been very busy today, but he is, I believe he's listening out there. You know, everything is a fucking game to these people. Now, there's been one, and I mean one, mainstream media guy who has a sense of duty and a decent intellect, and that's Scott Jennings. He basically had to smack down a Democrat panelist on TV having to do with the Epstein files debate, because a left-wing lunatic accused Jennings of making a racial remark. So this guy says, quote, "I feel like I just heard Scott call into question this black man's intelligence with the IQ test," end quote. Since when is questioning a person's IQ a racist remark? Stupid is as stupid does, regardless of race. Hell, I'm an equal opportunity guy when it comes to pointing out retards, right? There's nothing racial about it. It's you're a retard, you earned it. Whether you're Senator Upchuck putting cheese on raw hamburgers, that's retarded. Eyelashes Crockett says breaking the law doesn't make you a criminal. Race doesn't matter. Democrats, and especially black Democrats, need to realize the race card being played every day just makes it a less effective tool to silence others. Because that's what it is. It's a tool meant to silence people, to shame them, to discredit them, and it's lost its effectiveness, just like calling everyone an anti-Semite, right? And while we're on that topic, I am sick of the anti-Swedites always making jokes about meatballs and lutefisk. Anyways, I hope you guys, I've got all the questions lined up here. I've got comments. Of course, all capitalization helps me find them easier. There's a lot to consider, folks. And I got to tell you, right? We have nothing but trouble coming. Nothing but trouble coming. It's just going to get worse. It truly is. It truly is. We have been talking. We have been preaching. We have been yelling from the rooftops for people to wake up and get prepared, understand what's coming. I mean, when we really have to fight to bring pedophiles to justice, when we really have to fight to bring traitors to justice, oh yeah, Comey, right? Christopher Wray, those are FBI directors. They've committed perjury. They fucking lied. They were involved in treasonous activities, indirectly and directly. All of their underlings, like Peter Strzok, the evil elf. We've had attorney generals, Eric Holder under Obama, giving guns to Mexican drug cartels who then turn around and use them to kill American law enforcement. No problem there. We got the Biden administration pardoning everyone and their brother. Turns out it wasn't even him doing it. Someone was using the auto pen, and that works. That's allowed. The people that have done it have been caught. Tulsi Gabbard, the director of national intelligence, is handing sheaves of paperwork over to Bimbo Bondi, of crimes against the state, crimes against individuals, crimes against the people, not just government individuals, but us, the people. And they've done nothing. No wonder that these children are not feeling safe. They see themselves as objects for sale. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's beyond ridiculous, right? Now here, once again, right? Epstein Island, Rape Island. Is it a hoax or is it not? Well, a former Harvard president and Treasury Secretary to Bill Clinton, his name is Larry Summers. He resigned from the OpenAI board. OpenAI, that sounds pretty important, doesn't it? OpenAI. I'm pretty sure I've heard that organization, that concept, right? Artificial intelligence. It is where the world wants to go, and not us. I don't need AI, folks. In fact, I'm fucking sick of it. Kids use it to pass tests. They don't even do the fucking work. It can write reports. It can read shit. It does all this stuff, right? It creates videos that are fake and bullshit. Sick of it. Fucking sick of it. Just like I've been sick of movies for the last 20 years because it's all fucking computer shit. What happened to making real fucking movies? What happened to making real music? What happened to actual philosophy and thinking? It's all just been replaced with this candy-ass bullshit. So, back to Larry Summers. He resigned from the OpenAI board because the Epstein scandal is intensifying. Well, if it's real, the names need to be named. These rich bitches all need to go to fucking jail until their trial, and they get found guilty, and then they can either be sent to jail or hung or whatever the penalty is. I don't give a shit. If they're in another country, that country, you give them up, or you are now an enemy of our country. Because if you're an enemy of our law, you're an enemy of our culture, our belief system, then you don't need to have a fucking thing to do with us if you're going to harbor fugitives who want to rape children. That's what this is about. Raping children, kidnapping children, and putting them on an island or on a ranch in Texas or any other state in the country or in another country and holding them as objects of abuse, objects of sexual abuse for these people so they feel powerful. And then the whole concept of terrorizing children and then slitting their throats so they bleed out. And then these rich satanic fucks drink the blood thinking it's going to make them young because it's loaded with youth vitality and adrenaline. That's adrenochrome. And it's real, folks. Adrenochrome is real. It's fucking real. Now, if this is real and not a hoax, then names need to be named. And if national security is involved in this, then the CIA needs to be shredded into a million tiny fucking pieces and burned to the fucking ground. Because it has gone from something that was useful, its maybe first couple of years, to something abusive that was involved in the assassination of JFK, then RFK, and some people believe MLK, and others. An attempt on Reagan's life was made. Right? How many people, how many world leaders have been killed in office, poisoned, shot, assassinated, set up, framed, replaced, and overthrown? How many dozens of countries have had that happen? I'll give you one right now. Iran. Because of what the CIA did in Iran, we now have the radical Muslim problem there. Because they overthrew the government, installed the Shah of Iran, Then they invited in, I don't know, some Muslim people into the country who then ultimately took over and had become the sworn enemy of the United States, right? The CIA needs to be shredded into a million pieces and not replaced. And I'm no big giant lover of the NSA or any other organization, the FBI, the IRS. Unbelievable, right? Because they use it to harm people. The CIA really has dirt on their controlled politicians, and they don't want to give it up. And these controlled politicians, they're going to do exactly as they're fucking told. It's not going to go away, folks. They're not going to quit. They're not conspiracy theories. They're not conspiracy theories. It's real. It's real. They said, the Epstein thing, that's a conspiracy theory. It's a hoax. Why is it that every conspiracy theory, while maybe not the perfect explanation for the event and everything that led up to it and how it turned out, no, but the conspiracy theories point out that the government was involved, that they caused it, that they took advantage of it, that they used it for their power, and we all get to pay the fucking bill. That part is real on conspiracy theories every single time. Weather control, weather modification, chemtrails, shit in our food, shit they're putting in our water. Oh, fluoride's fine. Really? Oh, vaccines are fine. Really? COVID is blah, 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 blah. No, it was you guys that did it on purpose. This is why we need to be prepared, folks. Prepared. I mean, while we're on conspiracy, Trump came up with this. Here's the quote. It's a conspiracy. We have to investigate them immediately. Did he say that about Epstein? Did he say that about 9/11? Did he say that about Pfizer and Moderna's and AstraZeneca's and Johnson & Johnson's? Did he say that about their vaccines? No. Trump, he's got a conspiracy theory. And he says, we have to investigate them immediately. Trump is picking on climate change hoaxers. And he's criticizing countries that are, quote, losing their ass. He says they're going bankrupt in order to have green energy, in order to stop climate change. He's calling that a hoax. That's a conspiracy. Yeah, you bet your ass it is. We're paying taxes for something that we have nothing to do with, we can't affect. And they want to use it to tax us, control our travel, control our food. Oh, you're eating too much beef. You're eating too much chicken. You're eating too much stuff, and it's creating carbon. As if I could create more or less carbon. The carbon's here. Right? But I thought conspiracy theorists and conspiracy theories were bullshit, hoaxes, something only stupid people participate in. Weren't they? Weren't we told that? Hasn't the government, in fact, the fucking CIA is the one who came up with the term conspiracy theory to use as a term to discredit anybody with evidence to describe the JFK murder. That's a conspiracy theory. No, actually, it's facts. That's a conspiracy theory. Then they control the media. Oh, Operation Mockingbird was in full thing. That's a conspiracy. No, it's not a conspiracy theory. Operation Mockingbird was put in place, and it's controlling the media so they can brainwash, indoctrinate, and propagandize the people. It's exactly what's going on, folks. Exactly. I got a news story that popped up. Conspiracy theory, right? This came from HealthBot on X. Woman in the hospital, fucking heart attack, age 29. She said this, cardiologists are now saying, oh, okay, so doctors who specialize in the heart, they're telling her that, quote, my heart problem is more likely a result of the COVID vaccine. Wait, I thought that was a conspiracy theory. Can you imagine sitting at age 29 in a hospital bed? Your fucking heart is just ravaged. And she literally says, I never imagined having a heart attack at the age of 29. No, no one does. No one does. That's a conspiracy theory, right? Yeah. There's no reason to believe that. All right, everyone. I've done my bit, and now it's time to do you guys. Well, let's launch some intellectual artillery and see what you guys have to say. Questions, comments down below. Let's do it. This is an interesting comment. It's coming from Deplorable Yankee Redneck. He says, our whole government is criminal, worse than when the British in 1776. 2026 people need to read the Declaration of Independence. It applies to our government. I think I've said that. I know I said it yesterday, and I think I'm starting to say it more frequently. Everything that the people complained about with King George in England, all of the American colonists complained to England, complained. Finally, they wrote their complaints down and put it in the Declaration of Independence. Our government, the United States government, is doing all of that and more. How can they do more? Well, I don't remember any complaint about King George using pedophilia, entrapment to control American colonist politicians. But that's what our government's doing now. And they don't want to tell us about it because national security. Wild stuff, folks. Okay, let's continue if we shall. Let me find some more good stuff here. Don't have Woo-Man today, so I gotta scroll through myself. All right, Badass Diving Frog checks in, and he says, John, did you know that Adam Sandler's father-in-law, sent 3 12-year-old girls from France to Epstein for his birthday? I think that has been alleged. It is a rumor. I do not know that to be a fact, but it certainly seems believable. It certainly seems understandable. I think I've read that a couple of times. I wonder what justification Adam Sandler's father would use in his mind to justify this if it is a true story. Could it be his religious teachings that teach that having sex with underage girls, especially if they're Gentiles, is just fine? They're cattles. They're disposable. They're nobodies. They're subhuman. They're superior to the rest of us. So this would be just fine to do, right? So when you ask, did I know? I do not know, I have to say. I can say that I've heard it. And I certainly think that that's something that could happen based on these Eastern religious teachings from the Middle East. Not Eastern as in Far Eastern. Not Far Eastern. Middle Eastern religious beliefs. That they can use whoever they want for sex. And that people that are not like them, they can treat them like property, like slaves, like cattle. Yeah, pretty nasty, huh? Thank you, Mr. Diving Frog. Village Idiot, always the jokester. Road trip, if it's okay, I'm going to the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders' locker room. Well, you have to either be a homosexual cheerleader or you have to identify as a woman and identify as a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. And I'm pretty sure you're still going to get the ever-loving shit beat out of you. Tell us how that works out for you right now. Look, these people really are that fucked in the head. I saw and read a story today. Saw the video, read the story. A man who appeared to be in his 60s, dressed as a woman, a trans testicle, was caught trying to meet up with a minor, an underage girl. The perverts have figured out, using the internet to groom children, to try and meet children to satisfy their disgusting beliefs, their disgusting sexual desires. It is very, very, very common. And they're doing this in other countries, folks, over in the United Kingdom, in Scandinavia, in Europe. They're also doing it here in America, where we have people pretending to be underage kids and having these scumbags, either transgenders, Arabs, or Israelis, show up. You getting the fucking drift here? Are you starting to see the connection? Right? I don't think I'm going to call this fucking channel, instead of The Prepared Mind, the Mr. Obvious Show. It's pretty obvious who the problem people are. Hell, if you were to go back to Weimar Germany in the 1920s, they had the same problems. Well, we have more of them now because we have all kinds of problems. Anyways, here we go. Here we go. Diving Frog also has this to say. John, didn't I tell you a few months back that things would get crazier as the year went on? I don't know, Mr. Diving Frog. Did you tell me that? I know a lot of people tell me that. I think I tell all of you guys it's going to get a lot worse before it gets any better. Yes, we're fighting back. And if it wasn't for you guys, if it wasn't for all decent fucking people screaming their heads off, sending text messages, emails, phone calls, whatever it takes to their elected politicians and saying, look, we've sat it with this shit, right? Now, it's amazing that so many House of Representatives people voted to release the Epstein files. You know what that tells me? Because there are probably 90% of them are crooked fucks that they erased and expunged and removed themselves. That we're going to get a bunch of redacted nonsense. That Pam Bondi, Bimbo Bondi, is going to claim, national security. We don't have to do that. It's an ongoing investigation. We had to redact everything because it's an ongoing investigation. Well, are you guys aware of that? That before the ongoing investigation was reopened into the thing that was called a hoax and doesn't even exist, before that, when the government was saying it's just a hoax, it doesn't exist, case closed. As soon as they heard that this vote was going to happen, they knew it was going to pass, the American people are demanding it. Guess what? All of a sudden, Trump says something in a tweet. Pam Bondi replies in a tweet and says, yeah, we're going to reopen the investigation into the Clintons and others, right, having to do with the Epstein case. So now everything is under investigation. They can't release the information. Is that the next fucking card? Oh, yeah. It's just going to get crazier and stupider and everything else. Unbelievable. Let's see. Mikey G says, heavy duty country, whoever the fuck that is, has a great saying. It's not all of those people, but it's always those people. Okay, great. Yeah. Now look, I have met and know really nice Muslims. I know, in fact, today I had a great conversation with a Jewish friend of mine. He does not approve of all of this shit that's going on, right? So he's one of those people, but he's not one of those people, the bad guys. Just like homosexuals. I know homosexuals. I don't care. As long as they're not grooming children and adopting children so they can make them sex toys. As long as they're not pushing people into their lifestyle, right? It's fine, right? Your sins are your fucking problems out there, right? I'm not going to adopt their problems. But I know that, yeah, it's always those people, isn't it? We know who they are, right? It's those stupid Swedes again. Let's see this. I haven't had a chance to go through all these. These are your guys' thoughts. We got a lot to talk about. Get your comments below, questions, etc. Oh, we got some more to talk about, folks. Diving Frog says, John, I saw a segment, I guess a news segment. I saw a segment where illegals that were being flown out that once in the air, the plane reverted to Texas to work on farms as slaves. Oh, so they were flying people out of the country. The plane turns around, lands, and lets them off. I haven't seen or heard of that. I wouldn't put it past them. I wouldn't put it past the government to pull that shit. In fact, while we're talking about that, this is a big deal. ICE agents, immigration's customs enforcement. There have been almost 100 attacks on ICE using vehicles this year. Violence, attacks, assault, attempted murder, and even murder by transgenders against ICE is off the hook. Why is not this declared a terrorist movement? The Antifa, the Trans Tifa, anyone waving the flag of another country while in the presence, right, of ICE officers doing their arrest, they're declaring themselves to be, waving a flag is waving a flag. Waving a flag in a violent action, that's war. That's terrorism. And that's what's going on. This is fucking terrorism. How many more people need to be killed while trying to enforce the law? Right? Why isn't a declared terrorist action against law and order declared and empower the law enforcement to arrest all of these people, and if threatened, respond with deadly force right away? If I am attacked and threatened with great bodily harm and injury or death, I have the right, just like you do, to defend myself, even using deadly force, because that's what I'm being threatened with. Why aren't these law enforcement officers shooting these fucking people in cars that are trying to run them over? Are they getting caught off guard? Have they been told you can't? I don't know. I don't know why law enforcement in cities are allowing federal law enforcement to be attacked by these terrorists. I thought we're supposed to back the blue. Well, aren't law enforcement either, right, city police or sheriff's deputies? Aren't they the blue? Aren't they supposed to back the other blue? I guess not always, or when it's a political movement. But here's the deal, folks. Law enforcement is always political. Always. Right? This is where I see us right now. We are engaged in a very quiet civil war currently. And it's being reflected or coming to the public's attention through the partisan conflict. But it is no longer just left versus right, or Republican versus Democrat, or conservative versus stinking, filthy fucking commie. It's also an attack by all those bad guys on law enforcement. And law enforcement thinks it's fucking cute, I guess. I guess Chicago PD has no problem with ICE being attacked. Up in Dearborn, Michigan, Muslims are controlling the city council and the police department. They don't give a fuck. If their Aloha snack bar assholes on the street are attacking civilians, they think it's fucking cute. We are in big trouble. What do you guys think, right? You know, and we also have not only do we have problems with Antifa, Trans Tifa, jihadis, fucking illegal drug cartels, and problems with police who don't want to enforce the law. They want to ignore crime from certain segments of the population. We also have judges that are out of their fucking minds. Right? A Biden judge, surprise there, has gone after the Department of Justice because Lindsay Halligan is being called and questioned if she's a puppet for Trump because of the James Comey indictment. James Comey, who is engaged in election interference, conspiracy, and treason, and a Biden judge wants to question everything as being a puppet. Right? Lindsay Halligan's a puppet. It's a political persecution that Trump is doing. After all the fucking bullshit that Joe Biden did and Nancy Pelosi from January 6th onwards, we're just supposed to sit back and go, oh, yeah, you guys are fucking great. Our civil war is involving law enforcement and judges. Our civil war also involves the legislature because they don't want to expose and then arrest and prosecute pedophiles. These people who are engaged in high-level blackmail, extortion, money laundering, fraud, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right? Robin G says, John, here's a thought. We need a, quote, great American stop working strike. No tax revenues from us until the politicians start treating the working poor and middle class fairly. Your thoughts? Robin, I wish we could do that, but we have bills to pay. We sit down and we go to work and we work all through the fucking week. And you get to the end of the week and they give you a little bit of money from your paycheck. They send a bunch of money to the federal government. Most people pay to the state government. You have to pay to Social Security, have to pay to disability, have to pay unemployment insurance, right? All of these fucking things. And then you got a little money left. And then you're told you have to buy health insurance for Obama. So that sack of Kenyan shit gets his kickbacks. Oh, yeah. Right? You got to pay that insurance, car insurance, house insurance, or renter's insurance. You got to have all these insurances. You got to pay your rent or your mortgage. And if you got a mortgage, you got mortgage insurance. Right? You've got to buy food. You got to pay for electricity. You got to have communications, phone. Oh, don't tell me, John, Americans are spoiled, man. You guys got air conditioning and heaters, televisions and cars. Well, yeah, we got that stuff. And now you got to pay to upkeep it, pay to maintain it, pay to use it. Right? We don't have enough money to say, it's my deal, Robin. I wish we did. We don't have enough money to say, we're not going to go to work for 2 weeks. We'd all get kicked out of our fucking houses, or banks would foreclose on us. We'd lose our fucking cars. We can't afford to do that. I would love to sit home for a fucking month. And here's the other problem with this entire strategy of starving the government by not paying taxes. You don't want to know what it is? They don't give a fuck. Remember when everyone sat at home during the COVID lockdowns? There was no fucking money being paid to government. There were no wages being paid to us. There was no taxes being collected. Everything shut down for 2 weeks while we flattened the curve. Fuck you, lying. Just doctors, Fauci, the government, fucking liars, the media putting those commercials. They had commercials like that made. Fucking high quality Hollywood style production commercials of sad music with grandma in the window. It's just for 2 weeks, grandma. We'll be back. We promise. Just 2 weeks. Just flatten the curve. Do your part. Shut your mouth. Do as you're told. Really, we're not going to fucking lie to you 100 times on the row and screw you in the ass. Yes, they did all those things. Right? That's just it. They could shut everything down and the government goes, hey, we'll just print a bunch of money. Just like in 2008 when they crashed the fucking stock market. They said, hey, we've had a couple banks go out of business. We better get them a couple $1 trillion. It started with the Troubled Assets program, the TARP program, right? They fucking threw out $1 trillion. And then they had to bail out a bunch of banks. Yeah, Lehman Brothers was the big one that went under, but government bailed out the others because they're too big to fail. Well, we're too small to give a fuck, is how they think of us. Really, folks. I mean, and I got to tell you, right, Robin, I would love to do something, but they'll just print money. They don't give a fuck. They'll just go in more debt. $38 trillion. Minimum $125 trillion in unfunded liabilities. That is to say, IOUs. The U.S. government has $125 trillion in IOUs to us, the people. Us, the people. They owe $38 trillion to the private Federal Reserve Bank, but they owe us, the American people, $125 trillion. Woo! 3 times as much as the national debt is owed to us. We can't stop them. That's it. Village Idiot says, last call. The Aloha snack bar is now closed. The free buffet that was the USA is empty. Get the fuck out now. I think what he's trying to say there is we're out of money. I think we're out of patience. I'm out of fucks to give, that's for sure. And it is time for people that we don't like to get the fuck out. How do we know we don't like them? Because they don't like us. How do we know they don't like us? Because they tell us so. In their writings, in their holy books, in their actions. We got trouble, folks. Lots of trouble. Let's see what the news is saying. What is going on? Let's see. Yeah. Okay. I bite. Thank you, Village Idiot. Joy Reid. Remember Joy Reid, the big mouth bitch who dyes her very shortly cropped afro blonde. That is ethnic appropriation of this blonde hair here. Joy Reid is black. She should not have blonde, closely cropped afro. Anyways, she has confessed, folks. I think she might be going Republican. She says that she would freak out if she saw a man naked in a woman's locker room. Well, why would she freak out? I thought she wanted that. I thought Democrats think that's fucking cute. Oh, wait a minute. What is that saying? NIMBY. Not in my backyard. Not in my locker room. It's Nimmerl. Not in my locker room. Yeah, these are these people, folks. That's who they are. I'm going to ask one more question, and then I'm going to let you guys go for the day. Are you ready? "15-year-old girl says kids my age shouldn't have to be the moral compass in rooms full of adults." Very, very true. They're children. We need to start treating them like children, not adults. They don't get to change their genders. They don't get to vote. They don't get to have, they're children, they're minors. They need to be protected. And obviously they need to be protected from the Democrats, the socialists, the communists. They need to be protected from religions that stem and rise out of the Middle East that look at children as sex toys. It needs to be done. And Village Idiot says, yeah, from the mouths of babes. When children have to fucking come out and go, look, adults, why do we, the children, have to tell you right and wrong? Well, I hear it. I hear it, folks. Chance favors the prepared mind. Is yours. I'll see you tomorrow, 0 dark 30. Get prepared, and I want to thank everyone for supporting the channel, supporting the mission, waking yourself up, waking up others, and telling them to get prepared, because it is going to get a whole lot worse before it gets any better. The fight right now, folks, is all around us. and it could be upon us. And that's why we are prepared.